Hi, I'm Kate Eisel from Eisel Marketing Group. I'd like to share a story about a local small business in Chattanooga that had a negative encounter with a digital marketing company that actually almost put them out of business. This event occurred throughout the year of 2019. The company is a home service business that relied on having a website and Google My Business listings to get new opportunities, calling them and filling out a form on their site. They worked with two different small digital marketing agencies in Chattanooga in 2019. The first agency tried to help generate leads but was ineffective, which happens sometimes. What didn't happen that really should have is the agency didn't show any transparency around results or lack of results and wasn't clear about how the initiatives weren't really falling into place, and they were not creating necessary pivots in strategy to make sure that the online marketing could succeed. It took the company having to basically say, if you all can't help us, we can't continue, to get out of that relationship. The relationship did not end well. They didn't really get to retain any assets. So they went to a new digital marketing company that built them a new site and started doing online campaigns for them. What they ran into with this company was actually pretty much the same story, where there wasn't really any transparency on what was going on. And they weren't getting any results or any clear results or improvements in results, which in this case translates to getting people contacting them online and getting people to call them on the phone. So by the time I spoke to this company, it was late November 2019, and they'd had this whole year of these two experiences with digital marketing companies. They called me in sort of an emergency, desperate situation. So I told them I would meet with them the same day. Later that exact day, they called me. I sat down with them in a coffee shop and formulated a plan out. So I said, what you don't have right now, that both of these companies took from you, is the companies took down their website and the company took down their Google My Business listings. The last digital marketing agency actually did maliciously go into Google and tell Google this company no longer exists, which means if someone looked up this company, their name, it would show them out of business, even though they were not. So this is realistically something that a marketing agency can do to a business, and it happens, and I now have actually seen it happen firsthand. So I told this business, you know what, I can do all of this. I'm not going to charge anything. At this point, there's no money that can be invested. All the money was invested in these two companies that really messed everything up for the business. And it's just not fair for them to have to keep going to companies that are supposed to be reputable and trustworthy and be completely duped the way that they were. So I said, I know I can help you. I normally would charge for this service, but I can see where that doesn't make sense for them as a business right now, to have to pay anything right now. So I went, and that night I built them a brand new website. I got them to approve all of the content. They were thrilled with it. We got their website up. The website could generate calls. It could get new forms that went to their email. It was all set. I also went into Google My Business and put in a new request for Google to create a business page for them. So once we got all of that done, I said, all right, let's just go ahead and let everything run. Let's have everything exist and see if you start seeing some sort of traction now. I also went ahead into my own, created my own Google Ads account, again with my own money, and I set up some ads on Google to make sure that their website was showing, even while they were waiting for the Google My Business approval. So I set that up that same night. Everything was all set. The next day, they got a phone call. I'm not even kidding. They actually, that morning, got an opportunity, and it was a qualified call. They were going to go out and quote the job. They let me know immediately. They were thrilled. And then a month and a half later, so this was very recent, I was contacted again by them, and they said they've been averaging at least one call a day. And this is during the slower season for them. So basically, they were about to go out of business and told me they literally could not continue in business if this wasn't fixed for this coming season. And they were able to actually turn things around, and they've been quoting jobs, doing jobs, and the money's coming back in. So I tell this story because it's unfortunately very common for digital marketing agencies to just not perform well for a business and not be clear about why things aren't working. And a big part of Izal Marketing Group is full transparency, where we say, here's what we tried, here's what happened. Okay, it's working. Why is it working? How do we optimize on that? Okay, it's not working. Why do we think it's not working? Could we try something different along these lines to get it working? Or is this just not an approach that's going to work? We're in a constant state of trying to reassess our approach, measure what's happening, and tell the client, and get the client involved in that process and work as a team to make sure that the marketing is going to bring in the value that the company needs. So hopefully our example is going to affect our industry as a whole. I'm hoping that this becomes the new norm versus the norm that I see, which is just taking a company's money and letting the relationship spoil for the sake of getting some quick cash. That's not the kind of world I think that my generation and upcoming generations want to live in. And so I'm very hopeful that we can turn the digital marketing industry around through this type of service. Thanks for listening to my story.